Jim Gazzolo, Heath Schwer.
Here we
Again.
go.
All right, last week got a lot of attention with Jaja Massey. And did you watch the show?
For sure. Absolutely.
I'm
I never miss watching you on camera. Come on, are you kidding me?
Wow.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
but it was a really cool show.
it was an interesting show.
And I think that it was
Something we need to do more of.
100%. I agree. I mean, heck, no one wants to just watch you and I talk to each other all the time.
No, I don't care what I say. They want to hear what you say.
No, that's not true.
They're scared to death. They're scared to death of you, man.
You're Gazzolo the Great. I mean,
You walk around this place and people run. I saw it. I saw two guys
What are you
that
talking
you
about?
employ that you walked out that door and they ran out that way and they came
Oh,
out
you're
outside.
so full of it. You're so full of it.
Scared to death. You're the axe
But
man.
another big weekend in college athletics, right? Rolling along.
I guess. What happened? Nothing's going on this week.
Well,
We're at
behind
that
us we got camp. And
Yes, and I did have to ask you about camp.
for sure. And the great thing is it's been years since we've had camp.
That's what I'm saying. Is what does that bring to you?
Listen,
Just the fact that you're back in this building, you can expose people to it,
right.
but it kind of opens you up to the community that you haven't been able to do for 4 years.
Absolutely. And look, I used to say it all the time to my coaches and the players who work the camp. Every single one of these kids that come through the door is a potential student at McNeese. They might not be a basketball player, but they're a potential student. And students, or lack thereof, affect our athletic budget. So
Yeah.
it is really important. And then and I think Coach Aiken and Coach Kennedy have done a great job. Coach Goff's camps are off the, the numbers were great too. They all get that. They all understand it, and it's just another opportunity for us to put out a positive vibe, a great experience for the kids and the parents.
And it gives you an opportunity for them to say to their parents, "Hey, I went to the camp. I'd like to go to a game."
Absolutely. And you'll still be surprised how many parents will come and drop their kids off and say, "Man, I've never been in here before."
No.
It's crazy, but all those things really matter.
So when is the name officially changed to Heathville, this whole complex?
No, that's never going to happen.
Never gonna happen?
You're insane. Gazzolo the Great, baby. Gazzolo the Great.
Sure it is. All right, a lot of things happening in the NCAA as far as talk goes.
Yeah.
But is anything really happening? Has
No.
anything changed?
Not really. I mean, the NIL things are, they're continuing to evolve based on the state. Obviously
Yeah.
Louisiana did some things on Friday they were trying to get a grasp on where, coaches and university officials can go and broker things. Well, but that's different than the NCAA. So right now every state is fighting on, okay, do we follow state law or do we follow the NCAA law that governs us? So it's really
That's
it's
what I was going to
murky.
ask, because
It's
if I
hard.
looked at it right, the NCAA has basically said you cannot use NIL money to recruit.
Correct.
But the state of Louisiana says, there's some waiver there.
Right.
What do you follow? What do you have to follow?
You know what? In my staff meeting today, I said, we're not going to do anything at this point until we get some real clear regulations, if you will, for lack of a better word, because the last thing we're going to do is ever put our institution in a situation where we're not compliant. That is never going to happen while I'm here, knowingly. So right now, honestly, we're going to talk. I'm talking to the commissioner, trying to communicate with the NCAA on what exactly, how does this affect us? And we're not the only state that this has happened, and it's just.
Do you see conferences taking over the role and saying this is going to be our conference?
For sure. I think so. And, I'm glad I'm not coaching anymore, but I will tell you this, that the NCAA really dropped the ball on this whole thing years ago. And they didn't think it through. They just opened it up, and it becomes a wild, wild west. And now they're trying to put, the toothpaste back in the tube, and it doesn't work.
They've blown this since 1962 when they took football away from the regional and just said only one game a week.
I agree.
And that's the NCAA in a nutshell.
I agree.
For you guys, though, as you look forward to what's happening, NIL really isn't going to affect this level. Is it much?
You know what? I've said to my staff, I would love to be at our level on the forefront of that. But at the same time, I mean, state budgets are state budgets, and where we're at is where we're at. So we still have to keep the lights on. We still have to raise money. We still, have to do so many things to make our budget work where we're competitive. But make no mistake, the NIL is not going to go away. I think it's going to get down to our level for sure. I would love to, and right now that's one of the biggest objectives for me going into this next year is how we can address the NIL situation.
And are you worried about, they say you can't use the money, but if you are a big time donor and you have a guy invested and you've invested in a quarterback, and that quarterback suddenly doesn't play,
it's a bad deal.
On the big level,
it's a bad deal.
Somebody's gonna get angry.
No question. And it exactly right. And I think that all of those things have to be put on the table. I know for our department and for our university they will be, and you have to make decisions based on all of those scenarios.
When we come back, we'll have our guest Raymond Parks III, otherwise known as RP3 from RP3 and Company.
Mr. Radio.
Mr. Radio, if you want to go with. All right. When we come back on Poke Nation. Back, Coach. When are you going to the Hall of Fame?
What are
you in
about?
any Hall of Fame?
I am.
Are you?
Yeah.
What?
I'm in the Junior College Hall of Fame in Fresno, California.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a pretty good player.
From where?
What are you talking about? From where?
From where? From where?
I was a good basketball player. Back before I hurt my back and all that stuff.
Oh, the old back injury.
I'm just telling you.
It's a knee, it's a back, it's always something.
I'm just telling you. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. I don't doubt it. I'm not questioning you.
No, it's a great question. How about you? When do you think they're going to put Gonzalo the Great in? I give it 5 years.
Of what?
Of the Louisiana Hall.
I'm not in the Hall of Fame in my own house.
Oh, listen.
Are you kidding me?
As great of a writer and a journalist as you are, it's just a matter of time.
I've been fired in this town. Are you kidding me?
Well, here's the thing. The beauty of it, though, is that it's just the never give up mentality that you have. You get fired and you reinvent yourself, and look, you start Poke Nation.
You ever see Officer and a Gentleman?
I have, yes.
I'm that guy on there. I am going, I've got no place else to go. I've got no place else to go.
Seriously.
Come on.
No, really. I mean, think about that.
I would not allow.
Get fired.
Look, I gotta be honest.
If I was on the greatest comeback story in the
if I was on whatever Hall of Fame committee you're putting me on, I wouldn't put me in.
Oh,
how's that?
This might be the greatest career turnaround. Like, talk about bam, and now look at you. You should write a book about how to reinvent yourself into journalism. I'm telling you.
Moving on.
Okay.
Moving on. Any news in the conference this week? I always ask you every week. Incarnate Word, they got to make a decision, don't they?
Got to make a decision. I mean,
Have they made a decision and now we don't know what they're doing?
I've said it on this show. I think that the decision will be made at the absolute 11th hour to make the decision. I think at that point, that's when they're going to say, hey, we're in or out.
So June 30th.
Yeah.
They're going to say, oh, we just aren't going.
I think that is whatever Commissioner Grant has given them as the day. I think they're going to wait all the way until the last day.
And I wrote it last week. I know you don't read. I wrote it
read.
Last week. I think they're doing it all to stay in the spotlight as long as they can because they're never in the spotlight. That's my own opinion. Okay. And I think that's your buddy from the AD.
I'm not touching that one.
I just think he likes people actually talking about him. All right, what about the rest of the conference as you see it? Where does this, as you guys project it, because you guys had your meetings recently, as you guys project out, I hear rumors about Central Arkansas not being happy at the ASUN. I hear rumors that, we all know Stephen F. is getting a new president. So, and they're going with the same group that suggested Lamar come back. How much better does the Southland look today as it did 365 days ago?
Oh, I think we're in a much better place. I mean, look, we got Lamar to come back. I think there's a great chance that Incarnate Word does not go. And honestly, it all started with them keeping us and us being able to negotiate the deal to stay in. It really did save the league. And I think it made it stronger. I think that, was that moment that, you put the flag in the ground and say, we're here, we're not going anywhere. And then from there, we were able to build. I think this league right now is in a position of strength for the first time in decades.
It's a place It's the first time I've seen a lot of people say that's where I want to go.
100%. And it all, listen, it all comes back to leadership. I think Chris is doing a great job. He is very, very different than Tom. I think both of them have unbelievable skill sets. But, he's someone that's going to go out and be on campus and recruit members and be in your face.
Be seen.
And for sure. And be aggressive.
I've actually seen him here.
For sure. He was at our spring game.
Yeah, I've actually seen him in Lake Charles.
No doubt. So I just think it is. I mean, I think there's a lot of rumors out there. I think that
they're not going away. They're going to go into next year and all that, aren't
for
they?
sure. But I mean, look, you're right about Stephen F. Do I think Stephen F. Austin will come back? I don't think so, just because I think the administration there has kind of dug their heels in. But you never know. And it's central. I've heard the same rumors, but right now, just focus on where we're at. We're in a lot better place than we were.
That's for sure. Now, it's now been 2 years you've been in this job.
Mm-hmm.
Pandemic, hurricanes.
Yeah.
Are you finally saying we're done with all this over here that we had to clean up?
Mm-hmm.
It's now let's move forward.
Sure.
Have we seen that turn of the mess is being cleaned up?
I think so. I mean, hey, look, there's still a lot to do. There's still, I mean, I continue to peel back the onion and find things, but I think for sure the department has transitioned from that. I think a lot of it had to do with just so many different coaches and new coaches I've hired that weren't part of that, so they don't know. It's just been a different mentality.
Well, like I said, the victim stage.
Exactly right.
We're through the victim stage.
Exactly right. But hey, look, I've said it before. I really believe that the next 3 to 5 years should be an unbelievable time in East Athletics.
And there we go.
Maybe
there we go with the sales pitch.
Maybe the best in history.
There's the sales pitch comes every.
It's
All
true.
right. I want to put out to you a little programming note in our last couple seconds here. You won't be here for the next 2 weeks.
Yes.
We have a special coming up next week that you'll see my face, but not his. Busy man.
Hey,
but
the soul of the great, you got it, baby.
But as we go forward, year 3 from Poke Nation looks like we're going to do more of what we did last week. You looking forward to it?
I love it. And
Tell the people goodbye then.
we'll see you soon. Thanks, Poke Nation.